This is one of the identities, I think the trig identity number 5 on the last page of the review packet. And so seeing all these words cosine and sine, I would change this to sines and cosines. So I'm going to make this 1 over cosine and make this sine over cosine. And since I already have a common denominator, I'm going to add. And then I'm going to keep an eye on what it is I'm looking for. And I notice that I have what's called a conjugate. Like that's a 1 plus sine I, 1 minus sine y. And so I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by the conjugate. Multiply by the conjugate is really a common thing that we do in calculus and in pre-calculus, because watch what it does. A conjugate, you change the middle sign. And so then when you multiply them, you get a difference of squares. 1 minus sine y plus sine y cancels out, minus sine squared y. I'm going to leave the bottom unfactored or factored, thinking something will cancel. So now I have 1 minus sine squared y is cosine squared y over cosine y times 1 minus sine y. So when you do this multiply by the conjugate, you're doing to create what's called a difference of squares, and but you multiply the conjugates together, but not the other ones, because you're waiting for something to cancel. So cosine squared goes into cosine y, and you're there, cosine y over 1 minus sine y.